this is the tier list. Hello, everybody. This is Jaden here, back with our first video of the channel. So we have all 12 NHL teams sorted by pool. Excuse Belarus and Russia. We have just like a random tier maker thing. But we have all of our 12 teams here sorted by pools. The first four are Pool A, second group is Group B, and then the last four is Group C. And we're going to be ranking them based on how I think they're going to perform in their pool and then overall in the Olympics. So we have these tiers. You could think of it as S, A, B, C, D, or I will kind of rename them. So at the top tier, we have Olympic gold. This team is going to win Olympic gold. Like, this is only one team's going to go here. I think they are. The second tier is Olympic medalist likely. This team is likely going to win a medal. Only two teams are going to be here. I'll tell you who I think is going to get silver and who I think is going to get bronze. Then we have face-up playoff juggernauts. This is going to be a tough team that's going to get likely fourth, fifth, or sixth in the tournament, or maybe even seventh. And I think they're going to be a team that you're likely going to beat, or even that you're unsure, but they're going to give it their all, right? They're going to give it their all, and they're going to make sure that you struggle when playing them. They're going to go to OT, and it is not going to be fun. Maybe make the playoffs. This is a team that might get third if they do make playoffs. If they do make the playoffs, the round of 8, they're easily going to get first rounded. They're just kind of there. They're not terrible, but they're not good either. Like, they're on the more bad side, but not great. And then the last one's have fun. This team has no chance. They're probably not going to win a game at all. Likely don't have a chance. So just score some goals, have fun, either grab a cookie on your way out kind of deal. So yeah, we have these 12 teams. So I'm just a warning. I'm going to be a little biased because I am from Canada, but here is the rankings. Okay, so first off, we have Team Canada. And we're going to discuss a little bit about the team because there are so many players that they left off of this Team Canada roster. Just to name a few, they got off Connor Bedard, Fraser Minton, Ben Kendall, Thomas Chabot. Seth Jarvis, he's now on the team because, of course, Braden Point is now injured. So it would have been nice to see Braden Point play. Unfortunately, he's injured, but Seth Jarvis, welcome to the team. Mike Matheson, Steven Stamkos, Mark Scheifele, Beckett Sinecki, Matthew Schaefer, who is literally going to win the Calder this year. There's no way he doesn't. Sam Bennett, how do you not have Bennett on this roster? Morgan Geekie, who had an absolutely insane year this year, the 33 goal thing. Oh my god. He is just an absolute machine, and you cannot stop him. I don't know how he isn't on this team. And Marchessault, with how Quebec was just crazy when none of their players got on the team. So Team Canada, what do you think they're going? I think they are still the top one because so let's see. The biggest question of Team Canada is the goaltending, right? Binnington is just not it. He's not bad for the Olympics, but to have him as your starting goaltender, that's kind of rough. Because Darcy Kemper and Logan Thompson are the other goalies, but Binnington is so inconsistent, and he kind of flops in these big. He kind of flops many of the time. However, the 2019 playoffs completely proved me wrong. He was some meh whatever goalie to some big star. And in the Four Nations face-off, where in the final, he went absolutely insane against Team USA in the Four Nations final. So, you never know what's going on with Binnington. But let's also talk about the roster, right? We have a mix of younger and older players, a little bit more on the older side, but we do have some young talent here. We do have Macklin Celebrini, which is come on. I love watching Macklin Celebrini absolutely carries the team pretty hard for the Sharks. Anthony Cirelli, Sidney Crosby. This probably is his last Olympics, so really sad. But Bo Horvat, McKinnon, Marchand, Marner. Marner has been playing really well since he was on the Vegas Golden Knights, so looking forward to see how he performs on the Canadian national team. Connor McDavid, of course, Mr. McDavid, Mr. Four Nations. And, of course, I forgot to say, Crosby with the golden goal. Maybe he'll do it again. Seth Jarvis, Sam Reinhart, Mark Stone. Mark Stone's been playing pretty well lately. Nick Suzuki, I mean, he's the face of the Montreal Canadiens right now. And Tom Wilson for our forwards. A pretty good lineup. Like, I think their forwards really solid. They needed Bedard, though. They needed Bedard. They needed Schaefer, too, but he's more defense. But, okay, defenseman. Drew Doughty. I mean, he's good enough, yeah. Thomas Harley, Kale McCarr, Josh Morrissey, Colton Parayko. That three, disgusting defensive. Josh Morrissey and McCarr, two best defensemen in the game. Devon Tays, legend. Shea Theodore, great. Sanheim, also a great choice. Defenseman, I would say overall, really solid choice. Of course, a couple things you can make, but I would say really solid choice. But then the goalies is just all over the place. But you know what? I still think Team Canada is gonna win this. I think out of this pool, I think they win every single match. The Czechia match will be close, but I still think they come away with the victory. Um, yeah, I still think they beat Czechia. Like, we'll talk about Czechia right away. We'll actually talk them right now, right away. But we'll talk about Canada versus US later. But I think they do run away with the victory here. Okay, now we have Team Czechia. Czechia, bro, they made a big mistake by not having Jacob Dobesh on the team. Dobesh, absolute crazy goaltender right now. He is such a good goaltender. They really needed him. But, hey, they do have a really good lineup. The goaltending is good. It's still better than Canada's, but Dostal, Vejmelka, not bad. Yeah, it's definitely better than Canadian goaltending. I think we're not going to rank them yet, but here's the thing, though. They got Gudis, Hronek, and of course they have Mr. Pasta himself, David Pasternak. They have Dominic Kubalik. Oh my god. David Kempf, Tomas Hertl, Foxa, and Pavel Zaka. They have a good team. But I still think Canada overpowers Czechia. I think they're in ratio to their World Juniors. I think the World Junior in relative to their Olympics is better. But I think they have a ton of talent coming up. But I think overall, Team Czechia isn't not as good as Team Canada. But I do think they are really well. I mean, David Pasternak is too good. He's literally called Pasta for a reason. I think they're playoff contender. I think they win both games against France and Switzerland pretty handily, but I think they're going to play a really hard-fought battle against Sweden. Sweden and Czechia, I think Sweden's better than Czechia. Germany and Czechia, that's kind of a toss-up, but then you look at Czechia and Finland, I think Finland's better. I think USA is better than Czechia, so playoff contender. They're going to be a tough team, and they're going to come in hot, so you got to prepare, but I think Canada is still better than Czechia. Okay, next team we have is Team France, which there's not a whole lot to talk about here. I think they're going to clearly have fun here. They're going to lose all three games. They're going to get smoked. They're losing every single match. This team has literally one player that you need to worry about, and that is Alex Texier. Alexandre Texier is the clear best player. He is going to be the face of this team. But also, you got to know, Stefan Da Costa and Pierre-Edouard Balmar do have some NHL experience. They don't currently play NHL, but they definitely can help him. But I still think there's nothing to say that's going to be good for this French team. I think they lose in a kind of a landslide, but hey, I would love to see them prove me wrong. And that's why I did this list. I want the bottom teams to really prove me wrong, including the next bottom team that I'm going to have in add fun, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, next up we have Team Switzerland. Switzerland's a fun one. They have quite a bit of NHL talent. They have pretty good players. I think it's between playoff juggernauts and maybe make playoffs. We're going to put them in maybe make playoffs because if they do, they're likely just going to lose the first round right away. But they do have good players, though. It's like they bridges between maybe make playoffs and playoff juggernauts. I do think they will contend with a lot of these teams because they do have Fiala, Hashir, Timo Meyer, Kurashev, Nino Niederreiter, Pius Suter, Roman Yossi. What a legend. Um, the goaltending situation is not great. Bera, I don't know. I don't know a lot of these like European leagues that aren't NHL. Like I don't know a lot of these goalies, but they have Schmid. He's whatever. Um, Guido Bira and Leonardo Giannoni. I don't know who they are. They probably play in those like European leagues. I wouldn't know them, but I would assume they're not NHL level. But they're probably decent goalies still. They're probably still better than your junior hockey leagues. They're probably like AHL level goalies. So you're expecting decent, all right, mid kind of goalies. So I think Switzerland will lose to Czechia, maybe like a 4-2 game, and I think they'll lose to Canada maybe 5-2, 5-2. I think they beat France maybe like 3-1. I think maybe. I think they definitely overpower France. France, I think, will get a lucky goal on them. And I think relative Canada beats Czechia maybe like 5-4, or I think 5-4 maybe 5-4, 6-4, maybe an empty netter. I think Czechia beats France. Let's say 4-1. I think Canada wins 6. No, let's not say 4-1. Let's say Czechia wins like 5-0. Canada, we're gonna say 7-0. And I think Switzerland and France, yeah, 3-1. 3-1. So yeah, that's my whole thoughts on the Pool A. Switzerland's just gonna get first rounded. Okay, next we have Team Italia. I feel really bad for this team. They have so many Lucas on this team, so many DeLucas. I don't think they have a single NHL player on this team. A lot of them maybe just play in some of those like Euro leagues, um, like maybe like Liga or like National League or something. I don't know, Ice Hockey League. I don't know a lot of those leagues. They probably play in there, but they're clearly to have fun. I think they're worse in France. I think it's gonna be really rough for them. But I think them having the home advantage might really help this team because they need this. They need all the support they can get. If they fans are loud enough and they can overpower the other team, who knows? Maybe things can go their way. They can get a couple goals in, but I don't think it's looking good for them. And I will let you know the scores once we're done the Pool B discussion. Next up, we have Team Finland, and this is a really tough choice. It's their entire roster except for Lettinen is NHL. I really feel bad for Patrick Laine as he got injured. Would have been nice to see him play another what is it? Another Olympic. This is a good team. This Finland team, they're fun to watch. They play so hard. Suomi, I love their goal song. The question is, are they going to be playoff contenders or are they going to win the medal? I think they're rather going to win bronze or they're going to win fourth. I think the four nations, hint, hint, are going to place top three. It's just, do they beat Sweden? And right now I'm kind of looking at the rosters, and I think Sweden overpowers Finland. I think they're going to beat Finland. I think we're going to put Finland at number 4 here. I think they are slightly better than Czechia. I think they just have more weapons. They're more well-rounded team. They have Sebastian Aho, Joel Armia, Granlund, Hintz, Kakko, Kapanen, Mikko Radnin, the clear legend, Teravainen. For their offense, like that offensive line is just disgusting. And then for the defense, they have Lindell, Heiskanen. Bro, this is a pretty good team. Lukonen, pretty good goaltender. He gets things done. They also have Lankinen as their second goalie, pretty decent choice. I think. Okay, so for goal predictions, I think Finland will beat Italy 6-0, 6-1. We'll see. Italy gets a lucky. Let's say 7-1. Finland beats Italy 7-1. I think they are just way better than them. But now we have an interesting one. We have a wild card pick. We have Team Slovakia. Team Slovakia kind of confuses me. It's just a similar situation to, I guess, Switzerland. But like when you look at their lineup, they don't have a bad team. Of course, Slavkovsky is going to be the main guy on the offensive side. They don't have a lot of NHL talent. They do have some players. None of their goalies are NHL. Like I don't have an idea of who these goalies are. They have Chenak, Nemec. Yeah, they don't have much. I really want this team to do well. I think they're gonna be like maybe make playoffs. I think they are slightly worse than Switzerland. Slavkovsky is just going to run this team, but like I think this team is much more competitive though. Like I think these guys who aren't NHL probably play in some really good leagues, probably really good Euro leagues, and probably do really well. So I think they are slightly worse than Switzerland. I think they just aren't as well rounded. When Slavkovsky's off, it might be rough around the edges, but I think that's gonna be the situation. I think the score wise, I think Slovakia beats Italy. Let's say, I think maybe 4-2. I think they beat Italy 4-2. That'll be Italy's closest game. They'll beat Czechia. No, I'd say no. That's generous. 5-1. 5-1 Slovakia over Italy. Slovakia versus Finland. Let's go. Ooh, where should we go? I think Finland beats Slovakia. I think call 4-3. I think it'll be a close game, but I think Finland will win. I don't think they're enough to be contenders. I would think they would lose to Czechia definitely, but that's just how it goes. And with that, we are really almost done. Like we are more than halfway done this, and we are we're almost a half an hour. So we have Team Sweden. Oh man. And I was watching the women's team, and oh man, some of these goal horns, some of them really changed up their goal horns from famous goal horns. Shout out to them, but not sponsored. Team Sweden, they are looking really good, and I 100% have to say they're a medalist. They are a medalist. And here's the thing: this may be controversial. I'm going to be debating after when I get to Team USA who's going to win between Sweden and US. I think this may shock you. But I think Team Sweden has such a great team. They have a really underrated roster, and I think they will come in hammering. They're going to be very difficult to beat. They have Eriksson Ek, Holmberg, Philip Forsberg, Gabriel Landeskog, Elias Lindholm, William Nylander, even though he should be playing for Canada, Elias Pettersson, Lucas Raymond, Alex Wenberg. Well, Lucas Raymond's a legend. Mika Zibanejad's been playing for the Rangers for so long, it feels like. Defense, Rasmus Anderson, Broberg, Jonas Brodin, Rasmus Dahlin, the absolute GOAT of all time on Buffalo. I hope you make the playoffs, Dahlin. You've been suffering too long. Ekman Larson, Forsling, Victor Hedman. Like, come on, Eric Carlson. Yo, and then we have Gustafsson, and Markstrom, and Wallstedt. What a great rookie goalie. He's been doing great out there. And, I think this goaltending situation is really looking good for Team Sweden. So for that reason, we got to put them up there. In terms of okay, let's do score predictions. I think they will beat Finland. I think they may. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna beat them in pool play. Let's say they lose to them in pool play, 3-2 in overtime. Okay, let's say they lose to Finland in overtime originally, but I think in the playoffs they're gonna beat Finland, or the second time they play. Sweden's gonna win. Let's say. What should we say? 4-2. 4-2 over Finland, and yeah. Okay, so I think we. Oh no. Sweden, Slovakia. I think Sweden will win 4-1. 4-1 over Slovakia. Sweden versus Italy. Oh, this should be a bad one. Let's go 9-0. Let's make it a big blowout. Okay, and then this pool is so interesting. I think Group C is the most interesting one because I think it's the most balanced between good and bad. I think the best team and the worst team are more balanced than Pool A and B. But let's go through them real quick. We have Team Germany. Germany's a good team. They're out there. They're 100% going to be a playoff juggernaut. I just don't know where to put them. I think, like they have a great lineup. They have Draisaitl, Paterka, Cider, Sturm, Stutzla. Stutzla's insane, bro. They got Wagner. They have Grubauer. She's a pretty. Grubauer's been doing this business for so long. I think Grubauer, he has experience at this level and he knows how to capitalize. And they also have Franz Webb, which I've actually never heard of him. I don't know. Did he play at the last Olympics? I don't know. I feel like he's their starting goalie, so I don't have a lot of knowledge on him. But um, Team Germany's good. They have Draisaitl, Stutzle, Sturm, Cider. But I think like their first and second lines are gonna have to carry. Like the rest, I don't know who they are. They're probably like again in those Euro leagues, and they do have a really good team. They have Tiffles. Oh yeah, Mueller. They're the two Mueller brothers. I gotta put them above Czechia. This is a hot take. I'm putting them above Czechia because I think that Germany. I think their main starting lines are going to overpower the other teams, even if their other lines aren't that great. At least I wouldn't think they would be too great. I still think they will overpower any of these teams. So I think we're gonna put Germany above Czechia. I think Draisaitl over Pasternak, and Stutzla. Stutzla, he's been hot so lately on the Ottawa Senators. So I have to put him above Czechia. Sorry, Czechia. Love your goal horn. Sounds awesome. Okay, I don't want to get copyrighted. Latvia. They do not have much for NHL players. Yeah, this team. This is definitely maybe make playoffs. I think they're actually the bottom of it. I think they're gonna get third in this pool. Or what do I think? Do I think they're gonna get third in this pool? If I look at Denmark's lineup, I think. I think they're gonna get last in this pool. But I'm not gonna put them have fun because I think they still will compete. I think they're at least gonna compete a lot more. They might even steal a win. I think 100% Sweden beats. Germany versus Latvia is gonna be a blowout. I think it's gonna be like 5-1. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. Probably a 4-5. Let's go 4-0. I think 4-0 is fair. 4-0. 4-0 win, and yeah, I think that's it. 4-0 win over Latvia. Yeah, 4-0. Latvia, they just have Gergensons. Gergensons? Who else do they have? Don't they have like? Oh, Balinskis. Yeah, he's on their team. He's a defenseman. Yeah, they do not have much NHL players. Merzlikins. They have Merzlikins as a goalie. Okay. Yeah, they definitely can do something. They can generate something, but I think they just are going to get overpowered. Let's go 5-0. I think they're going to get shut out by Germany. Okay, next up we have Team USA. Here's the hottest take of the whole video. Actually, we're going to leave Team USA for last. Let's start with Denmark. Denmark, I think they're also going to be maybe make the playoffs. Ooh, do I put them above Slovakia? Ooh, it's between above or below Slovakia. Here's the thing about Slovakia, right? Slavkovsky kind of clearly dominates the team, right? Whereas Denmark, they have Ehlers, they have Lars Eller, Molgard, Yorkstrand. I think they do have some decent players. Oh, what do I say? They also have Nick Jensen, not a bad player either. Frederick Anderson is also their goalie. So I think they're going to be above Slovakia. I think if they were ever to play, they would beat Slovakia, even though that would never happen. But I think Denmark and Latvia can honestly go either way. I think Denmark will beat Latvia, maybe like 3-2. Let's say 3-2 regular time. It might be 3-2 or 4-2. I think 3-2 is fair. I think Germany, they will lose. I think it'll be much closer though, like 4-2. let's go 4-2 against Germany. I think they can hold themselves, but in terms of winning, they're not gonna win, right? So I think it's a fair point place to put Denmark. I can't wait to watch you, Denmark. You're a fun team to watch, though. Yeah, I think that's how the games are gonna go there. And lastly, Team USA. Oh man, okay, they left a lot of players. Like, there's no way they didn't put Lane Hudson on their team. Have you not seen him lately, bro? Dude's electric, bro. They don't have Cole Caulfield either. Clearly, they're like Montreal Canadianist. They clearly don't want a Canadian on their team. Montreal Canadian. Ryan Leonard is insane, but the most disappointing one is Adam Fox. How do you not have like one of your best defensemen on the entire team, not on the roster? Like clearly one of the best defensemen on the entire in the USA, clearly, and you don't have him. That's a big loss, I think, for Team USA. You know, they still have McAvoy though. They still have Morensky and Quinn Hughes for defense. I mean, their forwards are still great. Matt Boldy, oh man, Kyle Connor, Jack Eichel, Gensel, Hughes, Keller, Larkin, Austin Matthews, JT Miller, Tage Thompson, Nelson, the two Kachucks, Chochek. Goalies, of course, they have Hellebuck. He was going to be the main man there. Of course, has so much international experience. It's between Sweden and the USA here. Here's the thing. Okay, let's begin with the Pool A scores. I think US will beat Latvia. Let's say 6-0. Let's say 6-0 against no, let's go 6-1. 6-1 against Latvia. Against Denmark, I think they'll still destroy them. 4-0. Let's go 4-0 against Denmark. US and Germany will be close. I think Germany's first two lines will be good. They have good defense. I think USA will win in overtime. I think they'll win in overtime against Germany. It'll be 4-3 overtime. I think it's going to be a very tight game. Germany is very strong. Don't underestimate Germany. Again, that's why I have them in the playoff juggernauts. But in terms of the game against Sweden, here's the thing. I could even see them losing an upset game to Finland in some situations. I think they will lose to Sweden. And here's why. I think Sweden's defense is better. I think Rasmus Andersson, Dahlin, Bodin, Ekman Larson, Hedman, Carlson is much better than USA's defense, where they have Mark McAvoy, Wierenski, Quinn Hughes, Hannafin. I think Sweden's overpowers. I think Sweden has more experience, and they can get pucks in the net. I think they have a better job of preventing pucks going into the net as well. I think USA slightly, with their goaltending, they are going to be slightly better. Of course, Hellebuck. But the offense, I think it's pretty even. I think it's pretty even. However, pretty even. But I think the defense, the margin of the defense being better than USA's defense is more powerful than the goaltending situation. I think it's more even between the goaltending than defense. I think the defense, Sweden is better, and I think it's gonna be a very tight game. We're gonna say 3-2 against USA. I think USA will beat Finland in the final. Let's say, I think it's gonna be 2-1. 3-1. Let's go 3-1. They'll get an empty netter. And I think Canada will beat Sweden 4-3 in overtime. I think it will be a higher scoring game. Let's go 4-3 in overtime. That's what I think. It's gonna be a very tight game. Don't think that's it's a tough list. But this is what I have to do. And this is a tough list. It's tough to rank Czechia number 6. It's crazy I'd be ranking. I always thought I was gonna be Czechia above Germany, but maybe World Juniors. I'd put them much higher, but in this case, Czechia is number 6 here. Um, we have Finland number 4. I think the four nations. It's very obvious they're gonna place top 4. I think, in my opinion. Um, I think the top 10 is pretty definitive. These two are clearly not going to win a game. Latvia, I don't think it's going to win a game either, but I think they have a chance against Denmark at least. Whereas I think these two have zero chance. Um, Switzerland, they're going to have. They're still going to be relatively a juggernaut. Slovakia, I don't think they're like. I don't think these teams are going to be much of juggernauts, but Switzerland bridges the gap between these two. Like I think they are slightly more on this one, but I could see the argument for here. But that is going to be the list for today, guys. I really hope you guys enjoy. If you guys like it, please like and subscribe, and I'll be back with my next tier list. Peace out, everyone.